Is the function concave up or concave down? Well, it's harder when you're looking at a table, right? Because you just have a bunch of points. So there's 3 ways you can do this. If you're really good at mentally picturing things, you can do it this way. So I'll go over that way first. I see that my x values are increasing steadily, right, by 1. And I see that my y values increase and then they decrease again. So to me, that says that it's shaped upside down, which means concave down. If you can't picture that in your head, then draw a rough graph, right? So here's our rough graph. It goes from -3 to -2. I'm sorry, to +2. And -3 is at 0, -2 is at 2, -1 is at 3, 0 is at 3, 1 is at 2, and then 2 is at 0, right? So again, concave down. If both of those don't work for you, then use the Desmos graphing tool and plug in each of your points individually, right? So -3, 0, and it gives you that point right here. -2, 2, -1, 3, -0, 3, oops, 1, 2, and 2, 0. Right? And we could probably stop here because like we can see that the shape is a parabola. So in any case, we know that it's concave down. Identify the x-intercepts. Well, let me make sure I finish this last one. 2, 0. Great. Sorry, x-intercepts. So x-intercepts, we talked about this, is where y = 0, right? So we can look at this table and we see that y = 0 here. And here. So that means that -3, 0 and 2, 0 are our x coordinates. But if it's hard to tell, then let's look back at the graph that we were using. X-intercepts are where the graph crosses the x-axis. So you can see the green dot, -3, 0, and you can click on it on Desmos and it gives you that. And you could write that coordinate for your answer. And then the other black dot, you can click on that. It gives you the coordinate 2, 0, right? So you can see it both ways. The y-intercept is the same. For the y-intercept, we said it's where x = 0. It's opposites, right? So where does x = 0? Well, we know that it equals 0 here. So 0, 3. But if you are confused, go back to your graph and you can click on the green dot, which is touching the y-axis, and it gives you that coordinate. What is the axis of symmetry? Well, this one's certainly a lot harder to do with the table, right? When we look at our graph, we know that the axis of symmetry is going to be directly in between the 2 points that are the highest, right? So if we connect this, we would draw a line probably around here to cut our parabola in half, right? It's cut into 2 equal halves. Well, that crosses at, if this is -2, then this is -1 and -1 to 0. That means this is -0.5. So how could we have figured that out from our table? Well, we see that the highest point happens here, right? -1 to 3 and 0 to 3. Well, we know that the axis of symmetry cuts through the x-axis. So if 3 is our highest 2 points, and it's in between these 2 points on the x-axis, 0 and -1, right? Then we know it's going to be halfway in between them. What's halfway in between -1 and 0? -0.5.